Hey, how's it going? Continuing my series and what I learned today. And something that I've learned here over the last actually couple of days, and really this is something I've been working on for a while, is why do we try to make ourselves angry? There's enough stress out there in the world. There's enough anxiety. I'm sure you have stress and anxiety that you're trying to deal with, whether it's financial, maybe you got some family issues, whatever it is, maybe it's health issues. Why do we then compound that by looking for things that make us angry? And I want to give an example here. Like this week, there was a story of this reporter out of Ohio who on the air was talking about Lady Gaga, and in the description, she used a word that was apparently a racist word from like the 1920s. Now, when I saw this story, I didn't even know that was a racist word, and I'm 40 years old. Okay, so I went out, Googled the word, I was like, okay, I can see why you wouldn't want to use it, but it's really a racist word that I don't think has been in the U.S. vocabulary for a long time. So when it comes to why you're making yourself angry, when I read through the comments, there were people that were so upset at this girl for doing this. And when I read the story, I thought about this. I thought, all right, which one is more likely? You have like a girl, all right, white girl, grew up in a suburb area. She's, went to university to be a reporter. She ended up getting a job as a reporter. And then, during, her Sunday night newscast, because this girl's like 24 years old, she uses a term that she probably thought meant something else to describe a white girl at that. And it was a mistake, and she apologized for that mistake. So that's the one instance. Or the second one is she grew up in a racist family. Her maybe grandparents were super racist, and she would be taught, indoctrinated into being a racist. Now, she kept this all low key. She ended up going to university. She ended up getting the degree as a reporter. She ended up getting her job. And then she thought, you know what? Now that I finally have reached this platform, I want the whole world to know what I think about black people. So which of those two scenarios do you think is more likely? Now, when people are reading this article, they're going to assume the second scenario. They're going to assume that this person is a horrible person, that she's been racist her whole life and that sort of thing. And it makes them angry. It makes you angry, and you're like, okay, I got to leave these comments, and yeah, I'm going to show them, and F this girl, and here's another example of how many racists there are in this country. Whereas in my world, like, I don't see a whole lot of racists, I mean, here I work at a radio station, and we have all sorts of diversities. We have all sorts of cultures here. And there's no racism. There's nobody going around going, we gotta stop these people. Now, I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist anymore. I believe it does. But we're looking in situations where there isn't racism and trying to make it so. And that would, and then and then you personally physically get angry about that. And that's the thing I don't understand. It's like, why would you do that to your own body? So I left a comment on there, and I said, hey, why don't you just give us the words that we're not allowed to say? And because I didn't know that was a racist word. And sure enough, a guy left a comment, well, that makes you a bigot. And I'm like, so I'm a bigot because I don't know racist terminology? How does that make sense? But my point is that I think a lot of people, when they get online, they're looking for reasons to get angry. I mean, you hear of all the, what they call now internet trolls. And my first experience with internet trolls was back, remember Party Poker? There was this poker site you could play. And I remember that people would say the most horrific things to each other when they lost a hand or if something didn't go their way in a hand. And I was just, And I would think to myself, if I was in a casino sitting at a poker table, you would never say these things to somebody across the way. You would never say these horrific, horribly racist, awful curse words towards this person. But because you're hiding behind a computer, you, I guess, feel it's appropriate to do that. But then those kind of people, they're so angry. They're like angry about everything. They get online and they're like finding reasons to be angry. One of the things about Jimmy Kimmel I really like is that they're taking back sort of that, internet troll, and they're making fun of what people are saying, the just horrific negative things that people say about other people. But what's interesting is that, when you're doing that, if you do that stuff, you're not hurting the person. Like if you left horrific comments under this video and was like, yeah, you are a racist and I hate you and you're the problem with America, I still am going to go on with my life. I still have a family. They still love me, and maybe you don't have that. I've always said this, that, revenge is the best success, or success is the best revenge is a better way to say that. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people who are just so angry and they're turning that anger towards you because of what you've been able to accomplish, they even get more angry when you are successful. I can also remember when I was a kid, my mom taught me one of the most important things in my life, and it was like the third grade, and Amber Wren, this girl, used to make fun of me every single day, and it would hurt my feelings, third grade, So I went to Mom, I said, Mom, I got this girl, Amber Wren, she's making fun of me, and she's like, Brian, you know what you need to do? Tomorrow when she makes fun of you, just say, you know what, you're probably right, So I did that, and she was pissed. She got mad at me. What do you mean I'm right? You're probably right. Yeah, I'm probably, you're right. She said something mean to me. A week later, she liked me. So why do we make ourselves angry? She wanted to get that reaction from me. She needed me to be an adversary to her for some reason. And this was the third grade, so you got to think that it was almost instinctual. But we still do that. I think we do that online. We were like, oh yeah, I'm going to say this about this celebrity. And I think what we're really saying is, I hope they respond to me. Even if it's negatively, I hope I can get a little bit of attention. So, if that's you, then that's fine. Maybe become aware of it. But honestly, you're kind of hurting yourself, And when we do see these stories and we just automatically assume the worst about the person, I got to think that might come from a place where there's something about you that is the worst, or something about you that you're hiding, or whatnot. Because if it is injustice, and there is injustice in the world, I'm not saying there's not, but sometimes we tend to look for injustice where there isn't any, and then we react and we get angry out of that. All right, well, that's what I learned today. You can subscribe to the video right here. Leave comments if you want. If you want to tell me I'm wrong and you hate me and say horrific things, you can do that as well. We'll be back tomorrow.